Robert Kennedy once said, "Moral courage is a rarer commodity than bravery in battle or great intelligence. Yet it is the one essential, vital quality for those who seek to change the world, which yields most painfully to change." Moral courage is a rarer commodity than bravery in battle. I have to say, when I first read that, I wasn't sure I agreed. Moral courage is a rarer quality than courage in battle? That just doesn't seem right. Wasn't sure I really agreed, and for a Democrat not to agree with a Kennedy is kind of a heresy. I'm sure some of my GOP colleagues feel the same way about the Kennedys from Louisiana. After all, what could be more brave than courage in battle? What could be more rare than courage in battle? But then I got to visit, as I know all of you have, our service members around the world, and see just how blessed we are with an abundance of heroes by the millions who have joined the service of this country. Service members who every day demonstrate the most incredible bravery. I just have the greatest respect for them. For people like Jason Crow, and John McCain, and Daniel Inouye, and so many others who've served in this body and the other, or who've never served in office, by the millions all around the country and all around the world. Most incredible respect. It's an amazing thing how common is their uncommon bravery. My father's 92, he's probably watching. He's part of the greatest generation. Left high school early to join the service. He tried to enlist in the Marine Corps, and he failed the physical. So at the end of World War II, failed the physical. Bad eyesight and flat feet, which was apparently enough to fail the physical. So 2 weeks later, he went to try to enlist in the Army, thinking that maybe it's a different physical standard, and even if it isn't, maybe I'll get a different examining physician. Turns out, same standard, same physician. And he recognized my father. And he said, "Weren't you here 2 weeks ago?" My father said, "Yeah." And he said, "You really want to get in that bad?" My father said, "Yeah," and he was in the Army. Now, the war was over, and so he never left the United States. And when he left the service, he went to the University of Alabama. And about midway through, he wanted to get on with his life, and he left college and went out into the business world. Something he always regretted, leaving college early. But I think in many ways, he got a better education than I did. I think that I was lucky to get a good education. But I think those like Jason and others who served in the military and also went to school got the best education. Because I think there's some things you can only learn by being in the military. Certainly, you can't really learn, I think, about war without going to war. And maybe there are things you just can't learn about life without going to war. So those of you that have served have the most complete education I think there is. But even so, is moral courage really more rare than that on the battlefield? And then I saw what Robert Kennedy meant by moral courage. Few, he said, are willing to brave the disapproval of their fellows, the censure of their colleagues, and the wrath of their society. And then I understood by that measure just how rare moral courage is. How many of us are willing to brave the disapproval of our fellows, the censure of our colleagues, and the wrath of our society? Just as those who have served in uniform can't fully understand those who have not served in uniform can't fully understand what military service means, so too there is a different kind of fraternity or sorority among those who have served in office. I always tell my constituents there are two kinds of jobs in Congress. And it's not Democrats and Republicans. It's those from a safe seat and those from an unsafe seat. And I'm sure the same is true of those from a safe state and an unsafe state. It's why I think there's a certain chemistry between members who represent those swing districts and states, because they can step into each other's shoes. And one of the things that we in this fellowship of office holders understand that most people don't is that real political courage doesn't come from disagreeing with our opponents, but from disagreeing with our friends and with our own party. Because it means having to stare down accusations of disloyalty and betrayal. He's a Democrat in name only, or she's a Republican in name only. What I said last night, if it resonated with anyone in this chamber, didn't require courage. My views, as heartfelt as they are, reflect the views of my constituents. But what happens when our heartfelt views of right and wrong are in conflict with the popular opinion of our constituents? What happens when our devotion to our oaths, to our values, to our love of country, depart from the momentary passion of a large number of people back home? Those are the times that try our souls. CBS News reported